From the Sony Pictures Studio, this is Jeopardy! Now entering the studio are today's contestants. A psychotherapist and writer from Woodland Hills, California, Mark Hine. A university lecturer from Davis, California, Evan Fletcher. And our returning champion, a speechwriter from Boston, Massachusetts, Arthur Phillips, whose 3-day cash winning total $29,202. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our show. The last 2 weeks have certainly been a fun time for multiple champions on Jeopardy! Arthur, a case in point, winning 3 games, trying to make it 4 in a row today, as we welcome Evan and Mark, the challengers who are here to hurt him, financially, of course, and to do well for yourselves. Good luck, fellows. Here we go. The Jeopardy round coming up. Categories are geography, television, love, Americans, style, notice, and finally some loose ends, loose in quotation marks. Arthur, off you go.
Loose ends for 100, please.
Answer. A 6-year-old child can't help lisping with one of these in his mouth. Arthur?
It's a loose tooth.
Yeah.
Loose ends for 200.
A cashier may hand some to you. Arthur?
It's loose change.
Yeah.
Loose ends for 300.
Type of notebook paper that isn't spiral bound. Evan?
What is a loose leaf notebook?
Yes.
Geography for 100, please.
There's a lighthouse at Cape Grisnez, this country's closest point to England. Arthur?
What is France?
Right.
Geography for 200.
Our name for this Arizona region comes from the Spanish term for it, El Desierto Pintado. Mark?
What is the painted desert?
Correct.
I'd like Americans for 100, Alex.
The first American woman to make a transatlantic flight. Surprisingly, she was only a passenger. Evan?
Who is Lindbergh?
No. Arthur or Mark? Arthur.
Who is Amelia Earhart?
Correct. 1928.
Loose ends 400, please.
Answer. This phrase describes athletes with flexible appendages. Arthur.
It's loose limbed.
Yes.
Loose ends 500.
They are often politicians or policemen, but are always reckless and uncontrollable. Arthur?
What are loose cannons?
Correct.
Geography 300.
Answer. Skopje is the capital of this nation that was once a part of Yugoslavia. Evan?
What is Macedonia?
Yes.
Geography 400.
Though 50 miles inland from the Gulf of Mexico, this Texas city is one of the nation's major ports. Mark?
What is Houston?
Right.
Love for 100, please.
According to lyricist Sammy Kahn, love and marriage go together like this pair. Mark?
What are a horse and carriage?
Right.
Love for 200.
Completes the 4-word hippie motto, make love. Arthur?
What is not war?
Yes.
Geography 500.
Paramaribo, capital of this country, came under Dutch rule in 1815. Mark?
What is Paraguay?
No. Arthur?
What is Suriname?
Suriname, that's the one.
Americans 200.
In 1938, Don Budge became the only American man to win the Grand Slam in this sport. Arthur?
What's tennis?
Yes.
Americans 300.
During Watergate, investigators found that this billionaire had made a $100,000 contribution to Nixon. Evan?
Who is Hughes?
Howard Hughes is right, and that takes you to 800. You're in second place, and we're going to take our first break right now. We'll be back shortly. Mark Hine changed careers recently. He went from being a writer to being a psychotherapist. Why the change?
Well, I saw that there wasn't going to be much of a career for journalistic writers beyond the mid-40s. It was going to be hard to find work, and psychotherapy is something I really always wanted to do. So I decided this was the time to take the chance.
Obviously, you enjoy working with people. I noticed a comment you made here. You say that we all share many of the attributes that schizophrenics have. Give me an example.
Well, I learned from working with them that, for instance, the big symptom is that they hear voices. Well, we all do that. We hear our conscience speaking, or we'll be giving ourselves a little talk while we're driving, or we'll be talking to the other driver. And so voices are a part of our life. They just have more of them, and they have them when they don't want them, and their voices say things they don't want to hear.
I hear other voices, and I hear my own. Yesterday, driving to work, I missed the entrance to the studio here. Oh, not too bright, Alex. Evan Fletcher from Davis, California, is a university lecturer who teaches computer science. Are we talking about the software aspects or the hardware?
Definitely the software, Alex. It's the C and C++ programming languages, and then concepts of programming, data structures and things like that enable you to analyze how well to write your program.
This is a good area to get into right now, right?
Excellent.
A lot of job openings available?
As a matter of fact, I was told by the Career Center that last year there were more recruiters than students who applied for the jobs, and they complained that not enough people came to interview with them.
Maybe a chance for a second career for me after I leave this one. I'll be inspired by Mark down there. Arthur Phillips is our champion. He is a speechwriter. He has something in common with the president. You both play saxophone.
That's right.
You did it professionally.
Yeah, and yes, I did.
With a group?
Yeah, I led my own group called the Arthur Phillips Quartet for a few years.
Yeah. Do you still do it? Just
A little bit on the
up?
side. I'd like to take some piano lessons now, but I've pretty much given it up.
Piano lessons, too? Oh, you're good with both hands. Darn. Okay, Evan, we'll go back to you, and you make the selection, and we will go back to the board for another clue.
Give me Americans for 400, please.
All right. In 1914, this former American president led an Amazon expedition. Arthur.
It was Teddy Roosevelt.
That's the one.
Americans for 500.
It was the last town in which Wild Bill Hickok played cards. And it was Deadwood, South Dakota. Arthur, back to you.
Love 300, please.
Some regard this purple quartz gem as a love charm. Evan.
What is amethyst?
Yes.
Love for 400.
Famous first 5 words of Sonnet 43 in Sonnets from the Portuguese. Mark.
How do I love thee? What is how do I love thee?
That's right. You were correct the first way because that was a question also. Go again.
I'd like love for 500, please.
The answer there is the Daily Double. Mark, you see your score. If you made this a true Daily Double, you'd be in second place if you responded correctly.
Might as well try that, Alex.
All right. Here is the clue for you. This book of the Old Testament is basically a collection of love poems.
What is the Song of Solomon?
You're right, and you're in second place with 1,200. Go again.
Try television for 100, Alex.
Mama's Family, which starred Vicki Lawrence, was based on sketches first seen on this show. Evan.
What is the Carol Burnett Show?
Right.
Style for 100, please.
Decade during which the Carnaby look was introduced to the United States. Arthur?
What's the 60s?
That's it.
It's television for 200.
This Aaron Spelling sizzler set in Georgia centers on 3 sultry women, Lane, Peyton, and Reese. Evan.
What is Designing Women?
No. Arthur.
What's Savannah?
Savannah, yes.
Television for 300.
On the cartoon series Ren and Stimpy, Ren is this breed of dog. Arthur.
It's a Chihuahua.
Right.
Television 400.
Jonathan Silverman plays the title bachelor on this sitcom. Arthur?
What is the lonely guy?
No. Although there are times when he is lonely, he is the single guy. Select again.
Television for 500.
Once a brat packer, now he's Brooke Shields' publisher on Suddenly Susan. Arthur.
Who's Judd Nelson?
Correct.
Style 200.
These baggy knickers worn by golfers were popularized by the Prince of Wales in the 1920s. And they're called +4s.
Style 300.
A mousquetaire hat didn't have ears. It was wide-brimmed and was adorned with one or more of these. Arthur.
What's a feather?
Feather, yes.
Style 400.
Bags and shoes from Gucci feature a GG symbol. Those from this designer are marked with a V. Mark.
Who is Versace?
No. Arthur.
Who's Louis Vuitton?
No. 2 V's disposed of, and one we left unspoken was Valentino. Arthur, we've got one last clue. I bet you want to see it.
Please.
French for partitioned, it's jewelry whose colored enamel sections are separated by thin metal bands. Mark.
What is cloisonné?
That's right, and that's 500 more for you, putting you in second place with 1,300. That's $2,000 behind Arthur, and Evans on the board with 1,000, which means he picks first in Double Jeopardy after this. Are you ready for Double Jeopardy? Good, let's do it. Somebody in the studio audience said yes. Obviously, they want to play along as well. Let's see how they feel about these categories. Biology. world travel, nonfiction. The 18th century, musical theater, and finally, utopias. Nice places to be. Evan, you start us off, please.
Give me biology for 200, please.
Answer. These body cavities can contain blood or can be hollow, as in the bones around the nose. Evan.
What are the sinuses?
Yes.
Biology 400, please.
Carrots are examples of these main roots that may have smaller roots branching from them. Mark.
What are rhizomes?
No. Evan.
What are taproots?
Taproots, yes.
Biology 600, please.
This verb used in film editing also refers to cutting and recombining DNA molecules. Evan.
What is splicing?
Right.
Biology 800, please.
It can mean a tumor or a body part that's a mass of tissue, like the lymph type. Mark.
What is a node?
Node, that's it.
And biology for 1,000?
You win a prize if you give us this term for an organ's shrinkage due to lack of use. Mark?
What is atrophy?
Atrophy. You win a trophy. Yes, nicely done.
Take utopias for 200, please, Alex.
In a James Hilton novel, this mountain valley is ruled by the High Lama. Arthur?
What is Shangri-La?
Correct.
Utopia's 400.
The form of government this philosopher describes in The Republic has been labeled utopian. Mark?
Who is Plato?
Yes.
Utopias for 600.
In 1516, he coined the term utopia from the Greek words for not and place. Mark?
Who is Thomas More?
Yes.
Utopias for 800.
In 1873, she wrote Transcendental Wild Oats, a sketch of her father Bronson's failed utopia. Mark?
Who is Louisa May Alcott?
Yes.
And utopias for 1,000.
George Forstner named his brand of refrigerator for this Iowa society to which he belonged. Mark?
What is the Amana Society?
That's it.
And the 18th century for 200.
Japanese artist Mori Sozan gained fame for portraying these animals, perhaps seeing, hearing, and speaking no evil. Evan?
What are monkeys?
Right.
18th century for 400, please.
Gold and diamond strikes and a great natural harbor made this Brazilian city a center of trade. Arthur?
What is Rio?
Yes.
Nonfiction for 200.
This tennis star tells her story in the 1996 book, Monica, From Fear to Victory. Arthur?
Who's Monica Seles?
Yes.
World travel for 200.
Known for its snow festival, Bariloche, Argentina is one of the top ski resorts in these mountains. Arthur?
What are the Andes?
Right.
World travel 400.
If you go to Goa, you may try Fini, a local liquor that can be made from these kidney-shaped nuts. The nuts are cashews. Arthur, pick again.
World travel 600.
You can handle real kiwis, the birds, not the fruit, at Kiwi House in Napier in this country. Arthur?
It's New Zealand.
That's it.
World travel 800.
Le Musée d'Art et d'Histoire in Neuchâtel in this country boasts a trio of magnificent 18th century automatons. Arthur?
It's Switzerland.
That's it.
World travel 1,000.
The village of Bor Sang near Chiang Mai in this country is famous for its umbrella festival. The correct response, what is Thailand? Chiang Mai, Thailand. Arthur?
It's nonfiction for 400, please.
The 1996 book, The Man Behind James Bond, takes an intimate look at this author. Arthur?
Who's Ian Fleming?
Yes.
Nonfiction 600.
Not surprisingly, her 1996 book, Cooking for Healthy Living, is put out by Turner Publishing. Arthur?
Who's Jane Fonda?
Right.
Nonfiction 800.
Co-written by Vincent Bugliosi, it was subtitled The True Story of the Manson Murders. Mark?
What is Helter Skelter?
Right.
Nonfiction for 1,000.
While in prison, Eldridge Cleaver wrote this 1968 book on the problems confronting black Americans. Mark?
What is Soul on Ice?
Yes.
18th century for 600, please, Alex.
In 1718, this declining Italian republic lost the Peloponnesus to Turkey. Evan?
What is Venice?
Yes.
18th century 800.
Answer there, one of the daily doubles. We have taken a long time to find it, and as a result, you have a fair amount of cash, but nowhere near what your opponents have, Evan.
2,500.
All right, that'll put you closer. Here is the clue in the 18th century. This bishop, for whom a California university city is named, wrote, "Westward, the course of empire takes its way."
Who was Berkeley?
George Berkeley, yes, Bishop Berkeley. That's right. Go to 5,500. Go again.
18th century 1,000.
This young French king died in captivity in 1795, 2.5 years after his father. Arthur?
Who is Louis the 17th?
That's it.
Musical theater for 200.
In 1996, Robert Goulet took to the road as Don Quixote in a touring production of this musical. Arthur.
The Man of La Mancha.
Right.
400, please.
March of the Toys is from Babes in Toyland, and March of the Siamese Children is from this musical. Mark.
What is The King and I?
Yes.
Musical theater for 600.
The New York Post said of this revival with Jerry Lewis, it's another home run. You'll have a ball. Arthur.
It's Damn Yankees.
Correct.
800, please.
Answer, the other Daily Double. At the moment, you enjoy an $800 lead over Mark and a $3,000 lead over Evan.
$700, please.
All right. Here's the clue in musical theater. Lerner and Lowe's first hit musical. It was inspired in part by the works of Scotsman James Barrie.
What is Brigadoon?
Yes, that's it. And now our last clue in this round. In 1973, Ben Vereen won a Tony for his performance in this musical about Charlemagne's son. Arthur?
What is Pippin?
Pippin, yes. That takes you to 10,200. All right, we're in for a very lively Final Jeopardy, I'm sure. Start thinking about your wagers. We'll reveal the category in a moment right after we hear from Johnny about the prizes for the runners-up. Johnny?
Today's second-place contestant will receive a brand-new Zenith 35-inch stereo color TV with picture-in-picture, surround sound, and universal remote control, courtesy of Zenith Electronics Corporation. And the Admiral collection from Berkline includes the touch motion wall-away sofa. Each end fully reclines at the touch of a button, and the matching wall-away love seat, comfort and style from Berkline. For today's third-place contestant, you'll soar above beautiful Southern California on a fabulous flight aboard the world-famous Goodyear airship Eagle from the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And now, once again, here's Alex.
That sounds like a fun prize, Johnny. Thank you. Final Jeopardy category is space exploration. We'll be back with a clue in a moment.
If you are between 13 and 17 years of age and would like to be a contestant in our upcoming team tournament, either register at our website or send us a postcard with your name, address, and age to the address on the screen. Good luck.
We're going off into space. Space exploration, the category for Final Jeopardy. Players, you've got 30 seconds to come up with a question as a response to this clue. Now 6 billion miles from Earth, Pioneer 10 originally was launched in 1972 on a mission to this planet. Good luck. Harder and harder to keep track of all those space probes. Let's see if our contestants were successful in their attempts to do so. We'll start with you, Evan. What did you put down as your response? You picked Mars. Sorry, wrong. Had to go a little further than that. You risked everything. Gutsy move. Sorry it didn't pay off. You wind up with nothing today. Mark Hine had 7,700, and his response was correct. Jupiter is right. Your wager, 3,400. You have the lead with 11,100 as we come to Arthur Phillips. Did he get Jupiter? He did. Did he risk more than $900? Whoa, I bet he did. 5,201. Big payday for him, 15,401, giving him a four-day total of 44,603. And an opportunity to come back and try for 5 in a row on Jeopardy. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks, fellas. Good game. So long, everybody.
Today's second and third place contestants will receive Conair's Deluxe Rechargeable Beard and Mustache Trimmer with 5-position comb attachment. A great gift for dads and grads. Garlic brand garlic. When Robin Leach says garlic, he's talking about the most potent garlic tablet there is. 1 per day and odor-free garlic. Caltrate Plus Chewables. All the benefits of Caltrate plus more calcium and 6 added nutrients in 2 great-tasting chewable flavors. It's never too late for Caltrate. Jeopardy! Was created by Merv Griffin.